All right, welcome back to Central Valley Business. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard, filling in for Mike Scott. Let's bring in our next guest, John Moseley from Golden Valley Union School District. Hey, John, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
For the people out there that don't know, Golden Valley is located where, the school district?
It's north of the river. It basically runs from Avenue 9 up 41 to 145, and then to the west to the railroad tracks. Take a little square, rectangle, and that's the basic shape. I mean,
So is it Madera County?
It's Madera County.
Okay, and you're the trustee of Area 4. I'm not really sure what a trustee does.
It means that I was elected to the school board last November. I represent Area 4, it's divided into 5 trustee districts, and I'm the representative for the individuals who live in that trustee area.
And so what would you be doing? And what do you represent exactly?
As a board member, you're there working on the budget, setting policy, hopefully direction. So the district is constantly improving, and we're providing the best education we can for our children for the dollars we have.
Wow. Were you in education before?
I was not. My wife was a teacher. In fact, she taught teachers how to teach with the National Geographic. I was in law enforcement for 23 years. I worked in labor union for 20 years. I was retired. I did foster care. My children had gone through this. My 2 boys had gone through this. They're adults now. This district area got great education. When I adopted my daughter, I started getting involved in the district, and I started going to her extracurricular activity. And a district that was at one time considered the best in Madera County had lost that status. It had gone away. They had schools that were in improvement status, meaning they were not meeting the state mandates. And I went to a couple of sporting events for the 8th grade softball and soccer team my daughter was on, and there was no water available because the fountains were broken. There were no bathrooms available. So these were school-sanctioned events, not the weekend sports.
Right.
And so I went to the board and said, we're inviting Mendota and the Fresno schools out here. It's 100 degrees. There's no water. There's no restrooms. We have to do something about that. The response of the superintendent and some of the board members at that time was, well, we'll look into it.
Not, okay, we'll get it handled.
We're going to fix it. Now we're going to change.
We'll look into it, which is pretty much just pushing you off to the side.
And they did not do anything about it. And so that's what got me to run for the board this last election. After I was elected, and Carla Neal and Kathleen Crumpton, as soon as you could start a recall was started against the 3 of us.
A recall because they don't want you 3 in office? What did you do, John?
I don't. That's the irony of it, is that I had just been sworn in December. I'd only been to like 4 board meetings, and they started. I don't know. My job now, the profession I have in my business, is I do what they call fact-finding for the state. There's an irony in this. I get paid as a private contractor by the state of California to go where school districts are having problems with their budget or labor relations problems, and I have to try to fix them. I'm the one who put together the agreement for Fresno Unified. I just did Hemet and Andalado Elementary down south.
So do these people want you recalled because they think you have a different interest?
I really believe that the people who are looking at me are being driven by special interests. I didn't take any money from anybody.
I didn't
seek any endorsements. I spent a very minimal amount. I actually literally went and knocked on all 1,287 residences.
You went to every single door?
Yeah, every single.
Well, good for you.
I did.
That's the way to do it.
I'm not saying I met every single resident, but I knocked on every door, and I still want to change the district's direction so that it's more focused on the parents, the students, and that we live within the confines of our budget.
Wow. Now, you said that they're trying to recall all 3 of you. I know Carla Neal.
Yeah, I did not know her at all. We did not run together. I know her now because of my time with her on the board. She's absolutely wonderful. Her She has a great heart. She knows and is dedicated to those kids. She really does want to make that school district what it was at one time, which was the best in Madera County. It was that way when my children were there. And Kathleen Crumpton, who I knew her name from a previous election, but she was the lone wolf the lone voice on that board for 4 years until we came on board. We have barely had an opportunity to look at the district and try to implement those changes before this occurred.
So why are you coming on, John? You're just trying to get the word out that,
yes.
that people are after you?
Well, I would like to get the word out that, the recall is, they have a right to try this. They don't have a clear basis for it. They've gone from the superintendent left, which he did on his own, he was not fired, to the majority is the majority and they're doing things that we don't like. When I look at the people who are in the recall, there are special interests, and I call them that, and I worked for them. The unions are afraid we're not going to give them a salary increase because I'm a budget hawk. There are developers from the LA area who have people there representing them. There are individuals who have contracts for service. I have contracts for service who are, maybe they're worried about that. They've never really articulated to any of us, even when we offered, a real clear rationale why 60 days into a 4-year term you would do this. So my conclusion is they really don't. They don't want the district, despite its failings now, despite the fact that we are in declining enrollment, where before we were always gaining students. They don't even know why we're in declining enrollment. They don't want that research done. They don't want those changes made. We didn't run as a group, but together we want to try to give our children the best education they can. My sons are adults. They got a magnificent education out there. My daughter is a freshman now. I want her to have that opportunity. And that's what Carla and that's what Kathleen does. Beyond that, I can't speak to the motivation of the recall group.
Well, John, good luck with everything.
Thank you. And I appreciate you for allowing me here. This is the first opportunity that I have had to actually be able to express myself.
I think you did a fine job.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on Central Valley Business. Stick around.